Hi, it's been a while. I've been meaning to do this video for ages, but honestly, this summer has been so busy. Like, work has been crazy. You guys keep selling us out of the Hooktop, so we're just trying to keep up with that. But anyway, that's not what this video is about. I've been meaning to do this video for a long time because I have renovated my kitchen. It was a project. It felt like my first adult project, and it was a huge undertaking, but it looks amazing. I have to say, I'm very, very pleased with how it turned out. So I thought I would share my kitchen renovation journey with you and give you a bit of an insight into what went into it, how much something like that costs, and yeah, just the design process. So I own my house and I've had it for quite a few years now. The only thing that I didn't love about it was the kitchen. I also happen to be really into cooking and baking, so that was always an issue for me. It was something that I wanted to do, but had to save up money for, obviously. It is quite a big cost. And also I just wanted to be kind of emotionally ready for it because you have no kitchen for months. So I had no tap, no sink, no washing machine, no cooker. I could use my kettle, I could use my microwave, that was it. So I had to emotionally prepare for that as well. When I moved in, the current setup was just a kitchen cabinets and an oven on one side of the kitchen and these IKEA waving mirrors. I feel like we all had them at some point, like uni bedrooms. They're kind of really giving that. So I got rid of them immediately and put up this really amazing huge movie poster that I had, but I still was very limited in the fact that the kitchen cabinets were only on one side, so not much counter space, and the cabinets were not cute. I feel like the guys, it was a gay couple who lived there before and they had incredible taste. They had really amazing furniture. When I looked around, everything looked beautiful. I think they just weren't into cooking, so they just hadn't redone the kitchen, but the bathroom, everything else was perfect. So yeah, it needed some love, basically, and it needed to be ripped out, and that's what I did. So as soon as I moved in, I also got a new oven, like straight away, because it had one of those super old school, like, oh, it was bad. It was really, really bad. So I bought a Smeg oven on eBay for £800, which was actually really good. And it's a 90 centimetre wide oven. So it's got the main oven compartment and then a smaller one as well. But just having that extra wide, like, cooking area is great as well for using lots of pans. I specialise in cooking 100 things at once and using everything in the kitchen. So it works well for that. So the oven was staying and the fridge was staying, but everything else had to go. So excuse the mess because I had to move everything out and I need to move this stuff as well. But this is the old kitchen. This is everything. So when I moved in, this is what it looked like. Apart from, it didn't have this gorgeous swanky oven that I had to get because I love cooking and I could not deal with the oven that was there before. So that is completely going and we're building a whole new kitchen on that wall and this wall. I'm so excited. I currently have this here. That's just going to go. Those things aren't usually there, but I just had to put them there because we're demolishing the other side. And I love my table and chairs so much. So yeah, this is the space as it stands. I also hate these lights. So I never turn them on. And my boyfriend was like, you need to stop living in the dark. Let's just get you nice lights. So we're going to do that as well. But yeah, this is it. Say goodbye. I guess one of the first things to talk about was the quotes, the prices, like how I wanted to go about it. So I knew I wanted a stainless steel kitchen. That decision was made very quickly. And then I had a few different options. So I looked at IKEA. I looked at Beams, which is like a home renovation company that's very like Instagrammy and is very East London-y. So I looked at that. And then I also looked at getting standing stainless steel commercial units. I could find these secondhand on eBay for like fairly cheap. And I did seriously consider this because I'm quite a makeshift person and I was like, maybe it doesn't need to be like custom fitted. But the thing with that is these units come in set sizes, so there would have been a gap and it just wouldn't look as polished. So I did think about that. I had a look with IKEA. IKEA's great, right? Because they do kitchen planning for free. So they design your whole kitchen for you over Zoom with you. You can choose IKEA bits, you can choose third-party bits if you don't want everything from IKEA. They'll do a 3D mock-up. I highly, highly recommend that service. Even if you don't choose to go ahead with IKEA, is a good way to get a feel for your kitchen because they literally make a 3D render of your whole space. And there were different options with them. So I could have got everything IKEA. They have really good stainless steel drawer fronts. So that was a great thing because they're inexpensive. But they don't have a stainless steel countertop. And so they have an aluminium look countertop, but it does not look anything like aluminium. Or what I'd heard from asking people's parents how they did their kitchens is that the kind of done thing is to get IKEA base units, like cabinets and drawer fronts and whatever, and then get a custom countertop. So some people get stone or wood, or for me, stainless steel countertop. So that was option 2. And then option 3 was beams. I had a call with beams. They were very like, what's your budget? I could do like 10 to 15k, maybe a bit towards 20. That would be like my upper limit. And they were like, okay. We had the call. I told them what I wanted. I told them I like know exactly what I want, so I just need materials and labor. And they said that as a standard, they like have to offer the design planning as well, and that was so expensive. So the whole thing together, they were saying including that was 30k, and I was like, yeah, that is not in my price range. But yeah, they were really nice and everything. That was taken off the table. So then I went back to the IKEA thing, and I was like, I think I'm gonna do the IKEA base units and then a custom countertop. So that was all decided. And then from there, the process of design and buying everything was fairly straightforward. Everything that I got from IKEA, it was like around £1,000, which is really, really reasonable for like 2 walls worth of cabinets. Yeah, it was really, really good. So I was happy with that. And then basically you can also book an installation with IKEA. They're really familiar with IKEA kitchens, so they know what they're doing. The IKEA kitchen bits cost around 1k. The installation was about 5k. Then there were a few additional things that I needed to factor in. I wanted a glass splashback. So that's one huge piece of glass, an extractor fan, and a dishwasher, because I didn't have a dishwasher before, which was actually crazy. And doing it the way that I did it, it ended up being about 15k. So there was more organisation and planning on my part than if Beams had just like taken care of it. But to save 15k, it was definitely worth it. And then for the kitchen countertop, that had to be custom. I'd been recommended this company who does commercial kitchens and residential kitchens. I have to say my experience with them was absolutely seamless, and the countertop is perfect. So we'll get into that in a bit. The demolition of the kitchen was very cathartic because I was saying goodbye to a kitchen that I had no positive feelings towards. That was done in like a day, and they just ripped everything out. That was fairly straightforward and felt like an exciting beginning of the project. Then the IKEA kitchen installation began. So before I could get my countertop measured up, I needed the cabinets to be installed. So I went with drawers for everything. I went for no eye-level cabinets, only base cabinets on the floor with stainless steel drawer fronts. And I have to say, cabinets are out, drawers are in. Not having to like reach to the back to get something. Everything's like you pull it out, you can see it all, you can organise it, you can get these little Muji drawer organisers and everything. Such a game changer. I highly, highly recommend having drawers. It's just like actually the best. Very space efficient. Then once that was done, the countertop people could come and measure up for the countertop. Now, this happened twice during this renovation process that lasers were used. I had no idea that this is how people measure things, but it's like hyper accurate way of measuring. They use this laser machine and they like scan your whole kitchen and they do these really precise measurements. And I basically got 2 pieces. I got like a rectangle shape and then a piece that went around this column in the corner. So that was the slightly techie bit because that really had to fit perfectly. And it really did. You'll see how perfect it fits around that column. This countertop was probably the most expensive bit of the kitchen, 100% worth it. But there were things like for them to come and do the lasers, that was like an extra £1,000. But they were like, we highly recommend doing that because if you get it and it doesn't fit right to your walls, like if I was measuring with a tape measure, it would have gone horribly wrong. So there were things like that added to the cost, but you only hopefully have to do it once, redoing your kitchen. So you want to make sure that it's perfect and invest in that way. So the countertop altogether was about £5,500. But She's perfect. So that's the Demolition, the cabinets, the countertop. Then there were a few extra bits that I needed to get. An extractor fan. Now, I'm not convinced that extractor fans are actually worth it. I don't think that they do that much. But I think if you want a kitchen to look polished and complete, then having an extractor fan is a good idea. Plus the light over the cooking hob is really useful because I pretty much live in the dark in my kitchen. I love like mood soft lighting, but I do need to see to cook. So having that overhead light is useful and it just looks good. So whatever, I reluctantly got a new extractor fan because previously there wasn't one in the kitchen and I never actually noticed it. And then I wanted to get new lighting for over my kitchen table. And I got a few little extra bits as well, like a KitchenAid, which is part function. Obviously, I'll use it for baking and cooking, and this comes with an ice cream attachment as well. But also, look, it looks really good. It looks really, really good, and it works with the pops of colour in my kitchen. So got a KitchenAid as well. The lamps that I got are from Cartel, which is like an iconic mid-century Perspex brand. They do a lot of stuff in Perspex, and I wanted something plasticky because the rest of my kitchen was metal, so I wanted a different texture in there. And yeah, they had a few different colours. I'm really happy with how they ended up looking. It was a bit of a faff. I had to reposition them twice, but I got there in the end. So my cleaner has just come today, so it's looking absolutely spotless. It was so dusty here before. I still got stuff to sort out, but the stainless steel cabinets have been installed, apart from one, and my gorgeous countertop with my sink, ignore that, has also been installed. This bit is my favourite bit. Because it was custom made, it fits my counter perfectly. And yeah, highlights include the huge cutlery drawer, which is going to be, this is super organized. This needs organization. Also made me realize, like, I've got really nice dinner plates, but my small plates and bowls are already mismatched. So I think I want to buy a nice set. And then I have my dishwasher, finally. These are the Cartel lights. I need to clean them. Annoyingly, I chose the positioning of the lights before I put the table and chairs underneath them, and they're not in the right place. They need to go that way, and they need to go down. I want them like here, but it's seriously coming along. So the next thing to do is to hang up my art there. I'm getting rid of this. I'm putting my big movie poster there. I'm getting a big glass splashback here and metal shelves there. Then we had to do some painting before they installed the splashback, and I just feel like a lick of paint is a really nice touch if you're redoing the kitchen, and also like we had to like remove sockets and whatever, so it was a good idea. But I'd been quoted $1,500 to paint my kitchen and living room, and I was like, I feel like I can do that myself. So the important thing to remember if you're, getting quotes from contractors is that like everything's optional. There are things that you can do yourself, and sometimes it's only a little bit of extra effort to save a lot of money. So anyway, my boyfriend and my best friend, we all rallied together. Choosing the paint colour is such a Devil Wears Prada cerulean blue moment, because you are staring at 5 different shades of white and cream and like greyish white and pinky white and eggshell and whatever. But I picked a colour, we painted it. It was really fun. I highly recommend getting paint that has a primer built in, because otherwise it takes forever, because you have to like do the primer, wait 5 hours, do the first layer, wait, do the second layer. So anyway, we just did 2 layers, I think, and I was doing it like before work, so I'd always show up to work with paint all over my hands. But I'm glad I did that actually, because it showed me I'm so capable of painting a wall, like it's fine. And I also finally understood the meaning of the phrase, like watching paint dry, because it takes ages to dry. Then the final big piece to come in was the splashback. Like I mentioned earlier, I wanted a glass piece, but I wanted it to be painted glass. So I'd seen this around and really loved the look of it. They basically paint the back of a glass panel. And so when you're looking at it from the front, it looks like jelly-ish because there's a clear piece of glass on top of the colour. I just loved the look of this, and the experience of this was just so fun as well, because You can pick any paint color that you want and they'll do it, obviously, because they're just painting the back of a piece of glass. So they have their set colors, and they bought this box of like colors. But if you're like, that's too dark and that's too light, then you just like pick a custom color from like the Dulux website or Farrow and Ball. You can do like any paint range, I think. So that was so exciting. The custom countertop and then the splashback were like some of the most satisfying bits, because they really just pulled the whole kitchen together. I went for a baby blue for this because I wanted something that would complement the other colours that I had going on in my kitchen, the orange and then the green lights. I thought about doing pink, but it would clash with those colours. So baby blue is like a nice, soft but solid and looks clean colour. They did lasers for this, and then they came in and installed it, and the guys were cracking me up. Honestly, I have to say my experience of the men that I've worked with during this process, like, the majority of them were so lovely, and I had great chats with them and got on well with them. And that was really nice because like you're opening up your home to people that you don't know, and often giving them like keys to your house and stuff if you have to go to work. So I had a really good experience in that sense, and it was really nice to like have that interaction with usually older men in a way that was like non-threatening, basically. So that was a really nice takeaway from this. The final finishing touch to do was install a metal shelf above my sink. I wanted kind of a display unit. I wanted it to be stainless steel. I literally found this on eBay for 100 quid. It was cheap. It was really cheap. Like, honestly, eBay is such a good thing to look for homeware stuff. Facebook Marketplace, obviously, as well. But this was brand new, and it was just from a catering company. And I love that it has hooks on the underneath, so I can like hang pots and pans and stuff like that. And then the top of it is more like a display thing for my nice glasses and stuff. I've ditched all my generic wine glasses and got these really chic vintage drinking glasses that work for like champagne and wine. I mean, I don't drink, but it's nice for when I have people over because they're good as water glasses, and also as like cocktail prosecco glasses or whatever. So that was the finishing touch, and then it all just pulled together, and like hopefully you can get the vibe from the clips that I'm putting in. I'm really happy with it. It's like mid-century inspired, but it's also just really clean, quite timeless, I think. And it also lightens up the room a bit, even though, like I said, I don't use too much lighting down there. Having people over for the first time was such a good feeling. I was so like house proud, and I've just been so house proud in general. Like, I'll be upstairs brushing my teeth, and then I'll just go downstairs and like look at my kitchen and be like, like it's mine and I did it and it was my design. Yeah, it's just such a good feeling. It's so rewarding, and also having a dishwasher is such a game changer. It's almost done. I've got some like drawings and pictures that I want to put on the back wall. I just need to get a frame made for it because it's like I'm gonna make a little collage kind of thing. But other than that, it's done, and it works perfectly. I have to say, like, the function of the design works really well. There were a few kind of like things that I would recommend / not recommend. There were a few bumps in the road for sure. The contractors that I used, they were called Our Homes Matter, and I wouldn't recommend them, to be honest. They like messed me around a lot and tried to overcharge me with stuff, but luckily I'm firm with things like that. So I ended up getting them to refund me £1,000 because they tried to overcharge me for some ridiculous thing. But my advice is, like, even if you're a young woman, even if this is your first project, don't be afraid to ask questions. Don't be afraid to ask ChatGPT for like average prices and check that what they're offering is reasonable. Stand up for yourself, identify people who are going to help you within the company or like contractors who they hire. Yeah, so that was tricky and a bit stressful. That was probably the most stressful thing. So I wouldn't recommend them. They also didn't have any reviews, but IKEA were like, those are the third-party contractors that we're going to provide for you. I didn't have a choice. So that was kind of annoying. Highly recommend trying to find vintage as much as you can. It's better for the environment, also looks better. And mood board a lot. Take time to decide what you want, because once it's in, it's going to be there for a while. So yeah, that's the end of my kitchen renovation. Let me know if you have any questions, if you're dreaming of planning your own or you are going to do one, or yeah, maybe I can impart some extra wisdom to you if you're thinking about it. I'm so proud of how it turned out. And yeah, thank you for watching this video. I'll have more of my usual content coming very soon, I promise. I've just been working away, but I'm back on it now. So yeah, have a lovely week, and I'll see you in the next video.